Hope you all are fine, and I also hope that you all have enjoyed the first part of nutrition in animals. Great. So now we will start the second part of nutrition in animals. To start with, different parts of the human digestive system. So here, as you see in this picture, this shows the human digestive system. The human digestive system, it starts with your mouth, which is also called the buccal cavity. From the mouth, the pipe that goes in, that is called the esophagus or the food pipe. Now these food pipe, it will run all the way into a bag, muscular bag like structure, which is J shaped. This structure, it is called the stomach. Now from the stomach, the food will go into the small intestine. All the food, maximum of the food, it will be digested and absorbed in the small intestine. Then from the small intestine, the food will go into the large intestine. Some water, it is absorbed in the large intestine, and then the unabsorbed food, it will go in the the rectum part of the large intestine, where the undigested food will be stored up, and then the undigested food will go out from the body through this opening, which is called the anus. There are some glands, which are associated with the human digestion. What are these glands? Salivary glands, liver and pancreas. Now salivary glands, there are 3 pairs of salivary glands present in your mouth. Other than that, we have a liver and a pancreas, which are also the 2 other glands which are present in the human digestive system. Now salivary glands, as I told you, it is 3 pairs of salivary glands are present in your mouth, and these salivary glands, they secrete juice which is called the saliva. This saliva, it contains the salivary amylase, which starts the digestion of carbohydrates in the mouth. Now next comes the liver. Liver is the largest gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. Now this liver, it secretes a juice which is called the bile. This bile, it is stored up in an organ which is called the gallbladder. And what is the function of this bile? It helps in the emulsification of the fat, breaking down of the fat molecules. Actually, fat molecules are very big molecules. Those molecules have to be broken down into smaller molecules so that the enzyme lipase can work on it. So what is the function of this bile? It breaks down the bigger fat molecules into smaller fat molecules. Then comes the pancreas. Pancreas is another gland which is located just below the stomach. The pancreas secretes a juice which is called the pancreatic juice. What is the function of this pancreatic juice? This pancreatic juice, it helps in the digestion of all the 3 different types of food, that is protein, fats and carbohydrates. And all these ducts, they open into the alimentary canal and pour their secretions into the alimentary canal. I will tell you about the digestion in the mouth. So we take the food in through our mouth, and this is by the process of ingestion, which I have told you in the last lesson. Mouth or the buccal cavity, it contains the teeth, the tongue and the salivary glands. That is the 3 pairs of salivary glands. So as I just told you that saliva, it helps in the digestion of carbohydrates. So digestion of the food starts in the mouth with the help of the salivary amylase, which is present in the saliva. Next, what is the function of this teeth? The teeth, they cut the food into smaller pieces, chew it and grind them up. Now when you are chewing the food, then what happens? They become smaller in size and then they mix up with the saliva, and this process by which the food is broken down and mixed with the saliva, it is called mastication. The salivary glands, the 3 pairs of salivary glands which are present, that is a watery liquid which is called the saliva. It's produced by the salivary glands. Saliva, as I just told you, is a digestive juice that helps to partially digest the starch which is present in your food. Now comes the tongue. What is the function of the tongue? Now when you munch the food, what happens? You will see that you keep on moving your tongue. That means this tongue helps you to mix the saliva with the food. Actually, this tongue is a muscular organ that helps you to eat the food, and also not only to mix with the saliva but also to swallow it. Whenever you will swallow, you just use your tongue like this. Other than that, tongues, it have taste buds present in it. So we can detect the different taste of the food, whether it is sweet, sour, salty, whatever. The taste can be found out with the help of the teeth. Now, teeth, you know all. Why do we use teeth? It is used for cutting, grinding, tearing of the food. Now, actually, we have two different types of teeth. One is the milk teeth, another is the permanent teeth. Milk teeth, a child has only 20 in numbers, 10 in the upper jaw, 10 in the lower jaw. It's only a baby. Milk teeth is the babies they have, and they fall off by the age of 6 to 8, and then a new set of teeth come out. That new set of teeth is called the permanent teeth. And this permanent teeth, they are 32 in number, 16 in each of the jaw. Now, as you see in this picture, there are four incisors. These four on the upper jaw, four in the lower jaw. Then two in canines and two canines in the lower jaw also. Now, we have 4 premolars and 6 molars. Now, what are the functions of this? Incisors, they are used for biting or cutting. When you bite a bread, you use your incisors. When you tear something, when you eat a sugar cane, you will tear it like this. So, you use your canines. And these molars and the premolars, which are flat, they have a flat surface, they are used for grinding up of the food. You will see the teeth, they are covered with a white substance which is called the enamel. And enamel is supposed to be the hardest substance which is present in your body. Now, let's come to the next part, that is the esophagus or the food pipe. Now, in the esophagus, no other digestive juices are secreted. The food which has been mixed up with the saliva, that will keep, the saliva will keep on digesting the food throughout the esophagus. Now, when the food is inside the mouth, the food is made into a small ball-like structure which is called the bolus, and this bolus will keep on moving throughout your esophagus. Now, when this food is moving, this movement of the food is done by a process which is called peristalsis. Now, what is this peristalsis? This esophagus, they have rings of muscles present in it. These muscles, they are continuously, they are contracting and they are relaxing. This process of continuous contraction and relaxation of these muscles helps the food bolus to move all along through the alimentary canal, and this process is called peristalsis. This movement of food that takes place throughout your alimentary canal and pushes the food downwards, this process is called peristalsis. To the stomach. Now, what happens in the stomach? Right now, I was telling you what, that digestion stomach, it is a muscular bag, and its shape is, look, it's somewhat like J shaped, and it is present on the left side of your abdomen. It is the widest part of the alimentary canal. Esophagus, it is the food pipe, it is bringing the food from the mouth into the stomach, and the stomach, it is like a churner, it churns the whole food. And then the stomach, the walls of the stomach, it also secretes a juice which is called the gastric juice. Now, these gastric juice, it contains 3 substances present in it. 1, the hydrochloric acid, 2, the enzyme pepsin, and 3, the mucus. Now, I will tell you the functions. What is the hydrochloric acid? What is the function of this hydrochloric acid? It has 2 functions. Number 1, when you are eating the food, definitely a lot of bacteria are entering your body. So, these bacteria are killed with the help of this hydrochloric acid. Other than that, I am telling you about an enzyme pepsin. What is the function of this enzyme pepsin? It helps in the digestion of protein. Now, this enzyme peptin can only work if the medium is acidic. So, to help the pepsin enzyme work correctly or perfectly, the hydrochloric acid, it makes an acidic environment so that the pepsin can do the digestion of the protein. Next comes mucus. Now, what is the function of the mucus? Mucus helps to protect the stomach wall from its own secretions of hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is an inorganic acid. Now, it's a corrosive acid. So, if it comes in contact with the walls of the stomach, definitely the walls will be corroded. So, we cannot expect that to happen. So, the mucus, it creates a layer all around the stomach so that the acid cannot come in contact with the walls of the stomach. Digested food from the stomach, now it will move into the small intestine. Now, small intestine, it is a highly coiled structure. It is around 7.5 meters long. Can you imagine how big it is? 7.5 meters. So in the small intestine, just two slides before I was telling you that there are two glands, liver and pancreas. Both these two glands secrete their secretions into the small intestine. Liver, it is the largest gland in your body and it is situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. And what did I tell you? It secretes bile, and the bile is stored up in the gallbladder. And what will this bile do? It will help in breaking down of the big molecules of fats to small molecules. Now, this pancreas, what juice it secretes? Pancreatic juice. Now, this pancreatic juice, it can act upon carbohydrates, fats and protein and convert the carbohydrates into glucose, fats into fatty acids and glycerol and proteins into amino acids. The partially digested food, now it will go from the small intestine to the large intestine. But before that, in the small intestine, there are a number of finger-like projections present. These finger-like projections are called the villi. Now, as you can see over here, the small intestine has got three parts. The first part, it is called the duodenum. Then the second part is called jejunum, and the last part it is the ileum. Now, in this small intestine, what I told you, there are small finger-like projections present. These finger-like projections are called villi, and the food is absorbed through these villi because these villi are covered with a dense network of capillaries. Now, after most of the food is absorbed in the small intestine, now from the small intestine, and what happens? You can see this is a picture of the large intestine. The unabsorbed food is sent into the large intestine from the small intestine, and maximum amount of water will be absorbed in the large intestine. And rest of the unabsorbed food now will go to the lower part of the small intestine, which is the rectum, and it will be stored up over there. Now, next what will happen? The exit of the waste, that is the not waste, it is the undigested food materials. Now it will go out through the anus and it is controlled by the anal sphincter. Now, digestion in the ruminants. Digestion in the ruminants, what happened? Buffaloes, cows and other grass-eating animals swallow the grass and it's stored up in the separate part of the stomach which is called the rumen. These animals have a very complicated stomach. In the rumen, what happens? The food is partially digested and it is called the card. The animal, it can bring back the food into its mouth, and again the curd again returns to the mouth in small lumps and the animal again chews it. This process, that from the rumen it is coming back to the mouth and again the animal is chewing it, this process is called rumination, and because these animals do this rumination, the animals are called ruminants. The cow's stomach has got 4 chambers. Now, what are these 4 chambers? The first chamber is called the rumen. The second chamber is called the reticulum. The third chamber is called, over here you can see, it is called the ovasum, and the fourth chamber is called the abomasum. So, these are the 4 chambers of the cow, 4 chambers of the stomach of the cow. Whereas in humans we have only one chamber. We don't have this differentiation in humans. And these cows, they have the enzyme cellulase present. That's why they can digest the cellulose of the grass. We humans cannot digest the cellulose because we do not have this cellulase enzyme present in our digestive system. I have given some questions based on your understanding. Please write these answers and in loose sheets as you have done before also, and next time when you come back to school, definitely submit it to me so that I can check them properly. For listening to me, hope you are enjoying the science lessons in this boring period of lockdown at home. Thank you.